A lot of weight loss advice assumes your body is good at keeping track of how much you've eaten and at telling you when to stop. But today, I want to show you why people often eat way more than they realize. And it's not because something is wrong with them, but actually has to do with how the food is physically structured. And I'm going to walk you through the food science that explains it. Hey everyone, I'm Abby and I'm a doctor of food science. And in this channel, I like to talk about food differently, breaking it down into its molecules or microscopic structures that you can't see, but absolutely do affect you. One of the biggest factors that determines how much we eat is simply how fast are we eating. As a food scientist, I would call this eating rate, but basically that's just a fancy way of saying how many grams of food you eat per minute or how many calories you eat per minute. And controlling eating rate is actually pretty simple. Like after you hear this, you're gonna be like, that was so obvious. Because a lot of the time, this simply boils down to, is the food you're eating, does it have a soft texture or a hard texture? And I know this might sound too easy, but I have some hard data for you. Check out this study where researchers served these same foods to people, but half of them had a hard texture diet, a harder version of the food, and other people simply had a softer version of the same food. Their key result here, the daily energy intake was 570 fewer calories per day for the people on the hard version of the diet, the hard texture. If you run the numbers, that is over a 30% difference in intake. And there was no reduced enjoyment of the food. They didn't give, these people special instructions on eating. The difference was just texture. And this wasn't like a fluke. This wasn't a one-time, one-off study. Researchers then ran a 2-week-long trial, this time where the diet was composed completely of ultra-processed foods. Again, the participants were divided into two groups. One group got the harder texture version of foods, which made them have a slow eating rate, whereas the other got a much softer texture version of the food, which was thought to promote, a fast eating rate. And get this, the researchers, they were so clever because they nutritionally matched both diets, the hard versus soft texture, in just about every other way possible. Same calories, same portion size. It took up the same visual volume, same energy density, and people liked both diets equally. And here is what they found. People that were on the slow eating rate version of the diet, they ended up consuming about 370 fewer calories per day, which over the 2-week study, this amounted to them losing about a pound of body fat. So why does eating rate change so much between different foods? It all comes down to oral processing, or how much time your food spends in your mouth. Before you swallow, food has to be broken down into something called a bolus. And the advantage of harder textured foods is that they require more chewing, more chews per bite, and smaller bite sizes. They literally stay in your mouth longer, which means you physically can't swallow and take that next bite as fast. So ultimately, all those factors help slow down your eating rate. Now, why does this eating rate matter so much? What I've realized over time is that people tend to think wrongly that their stomach is kind of like a calorie calculator, right? So it's going to be like as you're eating, your stomach's going to say like, "Okay, I ate 100 calories, 200 calories, 300." And then once you hit a certain amount, your stomach's going to say like immediately, "Okay, stop. We're good. We're good." But that's not how it works at all. Your body isn't counting calories in real time. It more relies on signals. Things like how much are you chewing? How hard are your jaw muscles working? How long is the food staying in your mouth? How much is your stomach stretching? And even hormonal signals that take time to rise or decline. And the key thing is that these signals take minutes to respond, a couple minutes, not just a couple seconds. So when food goes down really quickly, the calories start to pile up before any of these signals have a chance to catch up. And by the time your brain says like, whoa, 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 I'm totally full, it's already too late. You've eaten more than you've meant to. The easiest way I've found to combat this is using Cal AI. So I don't really use it as like a diet tool. I wouldn't say I'm on a diet, but more as like a feedback tool to understand just how much I'm going to be eating. It is the easiest way to keep a food journal that I've ever seen. So I've actually been able to stick with it because keeping a food diary is as simple as snapping a picture, and basically within an instant, it calculates your calories and your macros. From my experience, it's very accurate, but I still sometimes do a double check, like if I know I used a specific cooking oil or added a sauce. And if something did get missed, I can just add it in a couple taps here anyways. If you're a bit more detailed than I am, Cal AI also has a full food database, like literally thousands of different food items. So you can search for certain foods and get really detailed nutritional information that way as well. Or for example, I'm a real sucker for late night ice cream, and usually at this point I'm tired, like I don't want to go through the hassle of logging the food. But the app has this feature, maybe my favorite feature. It's a barcode scanner where it can just scan your food, any type of packaged food, and log it for you instantly. Since I was already planning to share with you the strategy of using Cal AI to eat less, I reached out to them and they actually gave me a promo code. If you want to download the app, you can click the link in the description, and then use code Abbey, ABBEY, to get your first 3 days for free. Beyond that, I have 3 more quick tips that will really easily and naturally help you slow your eating rate. First, we gotta stop with the liquid calories. And this is the difference between eating like a smoothie versus fruit pieces. You want to keep your food whole or intact. Liquids require almost no chewing in our mouth, right? They spend a very small amount of time in our mouth. And then in our stomach also doesn't have to break down anything, right? Which means our stomach empties, this is called like gastric emptying, rather quickly into our small intestines. So this means like on a per calorie basis, we don't feel very satiated, we don't feel very full. That's why liquid calories are easier to add on. They don't trigger the same stop signals as solid foods. So no more applesauce or apple juice. Instead, just eat an apple. Tip number 2, no more bite-sized foods, all right? We're not buying things that are already in bite size. You can see how they manipulated this in the study, right? You want to go for the whole chicken fillet, not pulled chicken, which is already broken down and going to be easier for you to chew fast and swallow. You know, when you go to the store, don't get those vegetables already diced and cut up in pieces. Get whole vegetables that you have to cut before each bite and then break down more in your mouth. 3, we gotta cut back on the sauce. And this is because creamy, oily, and sauced food reduces the friction in your mouth. And less friction leads to less chewing, faster swallowing, and then, faster overall eating rate. Now, sauce combined with a soft texture, this is like worst case scenario. This is going to be so easy to overconsume. Not because it's bad nutritionally, say, but because it's going to move too quickly. If we have learned one thing, it's that chewing time matters and that our body needs time to signal, hey, we're full. Which means that getting rid of the sauce is naturally going to slow your eating rate and lower the amount of calories consumed per meal. If you would like more tips, next I would recommend checking out my video on how to get the most out of your supplements.